And you didn't have to push anything over there? And we're off. Nice. I think it is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles. Gonna check my Odyssey feed. Oh, can we start right off? You can just show any old splash screen you like. And we're gonna do it is February. It's Tuesday, February 21st, 2023 AD. And we're gonna do in honor of Black History Month song. I don't know why I'm saluting. Nonlinear Baby by Soul Junk. Yeah, he's not black, but it's black music. So enjoy, ya musical Philistines, and I'll talk you through it right here, right now. Nice. So good. So good, isn't it? What's that? Yeah. It's Christian, guys.
Approaching, poaching MCs for they pelts with like alligator high belts. I melt down on command, take stands like big band leaders with lightning rod in hand. I ran into flame, the gift that was imparted. Shook ones regard my game as cold-hearted, but I started deep in prophecy, set apart from rebirth in the water and the blood.
Beautiful.
Speak it without holding punches. Some lose their lunches, just confirms my hunches. How they love to wear their gown and cap like dunces. Title and a name badge.
Calling the police, Hake.
Famished for the true bread of life, yet not able to manage him when he talks with a sword in his mouth and eyes like fire. Electrical cables, throwing sparks, shocking synagogues and shredding fables. Ride around like the bird, fail with the word. It's cause you was not clothed in power. Cause the two always come together. And if you're trying to sever faith from deed, you's a little too clever for your steed. Yeah. Verily, verily, I'll wind up like John Candelaria and barrel these screwballs in merrily. Confuse those, treat these parables austerely. Apparently, missing the point that my disjointed darts piercing hearts bullseye are. While the bring out your dead cards stuck pinning tails on donkeys. Hessians and honkies, blowing mosquitoes and soul-free zombies. Biscuit eaters with walls of woodlands and tweeters all barking out tales of self-defeat. And they swan in heads of meat so they can feel me when I hit the barbecue with the heat. Yeah. What's my name?
Is it too loud?
My signals of flame lighten up the data, but the fire proceeds from the mouth of Jehovah. So let me hold the torch, bend your ear a little closer. Not linear, baby.
Nice.
Not linear, baby. My side from all sidereal, infected like scabies. Maybe you'll escape with an itch and a scratch. Not linear, baby. Not linear, baby. My side from all sidereal, infected like scabies. Maybe you'll escape with an itch and a scratch. Not linear, baby. Not linear, baby. My side from all sidereal, infected like scabies. Maybe you'll escape with an itch and a scratch.
Isn't this exciting? This So-called music is child abuse. Hake. It's Christian music, guys. Remember Soul Junk?
Not Lydia.
Well, thank you guys for bearing with me through that, in my opinion, beautiful music. Although I did admit that it had been, I like annoying music. And some people say, if you like annoying music, then, oh, how's my mic volume? Loud enough? If you like annoying music, is it really good? Anyway. Well, let me tell you what we will be covering on the Hake Report today, guys. Jesse's looking at me funny. He's just looking at me. We're going to talk about Biden and Kiev. I talked about it a little bit yesterday, but I have a couple of clips to play for you. Some vaccine booster propaganda. In France, there was this priest assaulted. It's an old clip that made some rounds. I don't have the clip to play for you, but I have the screenshot to show to you guys. And a interesting Bible verse about foreigners taking over your land. And as promised, Ann Coulter, based Ann Coulter being racist against Nikki Haley, silly Nikki Haley, who is not based. And based Don Lemon being sexist against her, which I mentioned that already. But she's all, go back to your country. What a mess. And some missed super chats. I got a super chat yesterday from an oldie but goodie. A man, a name I have not heard in many generations. And, some talk about the East Palestine stuff and your calls if you would like to call in. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show. I think.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I am fine. How do you like my voice deepness when I'm saying, hey guys? I am wearing just a normal green shirt today. Somebody said Hake looks good in green. Thank you. I appreciate that. Especially like a yellow green. And this is a yellow green. Orangey, red, yellow, green. Sort of a brownish green. Just a plain t-shirt. Thank you to Big Bump co-hosting the Hake Report. Big Bump liked that track last time I played it on the Hake Report, which was like a year or two ago when I was playing Hake music. Not fake music. I wonder if he liked it this time around. Don't know. Don't know if he's listening right now. But thank you to Big Bump for guest co-hosting with Hake yesterday. Check it out if you did not. He brings interesting topics and information. And today is Tuesday, and that means Joel Friday is coming on to host his show right after Hake. Joel Friday TV. So don't miss that. He was on last week. It was perfect, except that he had a blank screen background. Maybe I shouldn't be pointing that out, but he was not a fan of it either. But Joel Friday's back and better than ever. So make sure you tune in to Joel Friday TV, and there will be an audio podcast for it, okay? So he will give you the information on that, and I'll give you information as I get it. But anyway, let's jump right into this. I have a couple of clips. No clip 11 today, not too many clips, okay? But Sleepy Joe Biden went to Kiev yesterday. It was a very secretive trip, according to Commie Nonsense Network. And Trump said he was going to East Palestine, by the way. And after he said that, I heard within 24 hours, and I don't know if this is real news or Trump news. Shout out to Trump, our real Donald Trump. But supposedly, he said, within 24 hours of him saying he was going to go to East Palestine, Texas, where they have the train derailment and the fire burning up the chemicals and putting dark clouds in the sky, and then rain in Ottawa, Canada. I saw like rainbow snow. Don't eat the rainbow snow, guys. Canadians. Smart Canadians. And rainbow creek surfaces when you stir up the water in the creek bed. It's crazy. From the chemicals in the water and in the air and in the soil. It's crazy. And so Trump was going to go over there because people feel neglected over there. And do we really want the feds involved? Can we trust the feds? FEMA, EPA, the Department of so-called Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, and then that black affirmative action guy, Michael Regan, whatever his name is, whom I covered with Big Bump. Big Bump knows more about him than I. Who said, trust the science, according to Big Bump. And I believe it. We trust the science. Get your stuff tested. But within 24 hours of that, Sleepy Joe starts sending in the feds. I don't know. But he's sending a team of federal medical experts. Like you really trust them. But anyway, well, that's happening. And on President's Day, one of you guys pointed out in the Super Chats on the JLP show, this is from Citizen Free Press, clip 21 I'll play first. Biden is walking around Kiev with and it is pronounced Kiev, not Kiev, I heard, with Volodymyr Zelensky, as air sirens sound. Listen to this if you can hear it, and watch. Here it is. They're walking around. Isn't that a nice sound? I like that sound. Reminds me of Holly Drift. Shout out to noise artists. Cool sound. But that's the sound of panic. Air raid siren. So if they're really going to have air raids, would they have those two presidents walking around? If they're really in danger? Would they? Or is that a publicity stunt? Hopefully you could hear my voice over that clip. I think you could. Press 1 if you could. Press 2 if you couldn't. Press 3 if it was okay enough. Not ideal, but okay. Just out of curiosity. I feel like that was just those two presidents pretending like they're in danger. Oh, let's play the air raid thing. Lin Yunchin agrees. It is a nice sound. Hear that stuff all the time, says David over on YouTube. Hey, what's up, Twitch and Facebook and DLive? We're streaming on multiple platforms. The Hake Report. I don't have Hassan with me. I have Nick, host of Nick Stream, the Anchor Baby Show. Guest board operating. 6 hours today. Nice. And counting. And more. Money laundering meeting, says Nugget Man. That sounds like a conspiracy theory, man. But, you know. And I noticed that a lot of stuff over in Ukraine and Russia, it looks fake. And I'm not saying it is fake. I'm just saying that the architecture and the decor has this funny look to it that doesn't seem natural. Are those... Anyway, I don't know. They walked underneath this arch that had these big old brick things on it. Yeah, Nick says it looks like it's a set from It's a Small World. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It totally does. It looks like Disneyland. It's all green screen, Hake. I disavow. Hey, what's up, Mari? Is it Mari or Madi? I think it's Madi. Publicity stunt. It's reported the Biden administration got permission from that administration to visit Ukraine. Well, I mean, they would have to do that. But yeah. It totally does. I like that Disneyland ride. It's a small world. And It's a Small World is kind of fashioned after Russia. Maybe that's why. What a mess. So, and meanwhile, This is an old clip. Our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. I call him our greatest. You may differ. And you can call in 888-775-3773. Ed Krasen, short for Krasenstein, whatever that guy's name is. I think he or his brother was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show one time. Did you know that? Those Krasenstein brothers. You guys familiar with them? They're big blue check marks. I mean, I don't even know if they were check marks on Twitter. Now they are. But they were banned on Twitter for some time because of, I forget what. Maybe they were buying bots to help promote themselves. But they're like huge accounts on Twitter, the liberals. Maybe not normal whites. Probably not. I mean, they're liberals. How can you be a normal person and be a liberal? Granted, most blacks are, but shout out to the blacks. But that guy was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show years ago during the Trump administration. But he tweeted, one of them, Ed, as former president is set to visit East Palestine, Ohio. I don't know when or I know where that is roughly. It's in Ohio. But I don't know when that's supposed to happen or if it did already. To unfairly criticize Biden's response to the train derailment. Let's remember that Trump blocked $20 million in hurricane relief for Puerto Rico. That's how Trump called it one time. It's funny. Following Hurricane Maria. Those women. One of the deadliest U.S. disasters in over 100 years, because Puerto Rico is an American territory. Did you know? Ann Coulter wants them to be allowed to be a state, maybe. I don't know if I agree with her, but he withheld FEMA aid to Puerto Rico, mocked the dead, threw paper towels at those in need, which is silly. That was fun. And then obstructed an investigation. And here's a 42-second clip of a couple of different instances where Trump is talking, and then also, and Puerto Rico is known to be pretty corrupt, by the way, I will have you know. So maybe that was partly why. And I don't know if he mocked the dead. I don't know. I think that might be a misinterpretation. And we will get to your calls. Hang tight, callers. But here's the clip 20 of our greatest president. It's a flashback to Hurricane Maria some years back. I want to say 2017. Here it is.
Puerto Rico, but you've thrown our budget a little out of whack because we spent a lot of money on Puerto Rico. But if you look at a real catastrophe like Katrina, and you look at the tremendous hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that died, what is your death count as of this moment? 16 people certified. 16 people versus in the thousands. You can be very proud.
There he's throwing the paper towels. They were having fun. That's fun. He's not throwing paper towels at them, throwing them to them. Look at that. Tossing them. Isn't that nice? Trump being helpful. You know, for a photo op. Of course, it's a photo op. Hurricane Maria was September 16th to October 2nd, 2017. Long hurricane. Devastated the northeastern Caribbean. Interesting. Oh, look, a Vaxx salesman, says Nugget Man. Oh, come on. Drop your bitterness for 1 second. Terrible. He talked about how, I don't know if you could understand what he was saying. He talked about how they've spent a lot of money on Puerto Rico. And wasn't there some shenanigans? And speaking of corruption, like, didn't they find a warehouse full of stuff, emergency supplies from like years before or months before or something like that? And that was due to the corruption or the incompetence or both, really, of the politicians down there. Puerto Rico. Jalen 8 says, I'm not the only one having audio issues, right? He's the one who's saying that the audio is funny. I don't know. Is it streaming out the same way to both ears? Maybe it's just you, Jalen B. But I don't know. Press 1 if your audio is perfect. Just a little interlude. Pardon the strange interlude. Press audio. Press. Hey, what's up, spoiler alert? Press 1 if the audio is perfect. Press 2 if it's messed up. Press 3 if it was kind of iffy, but okay. Because sometimes what used to happen is we would stream to like one ear on one thing and one ear on the other. I don't know. But anyway, most of you guys seems fine. Must be just you, Jolly Nate, but thanks for your concern. I appreciate it. We like to get it right. Eventually. One, except for the music at the beginning, says Kevin Howe. Well, we honor Black History Month. I don't know about you. Arga Luna says 2. A lot of people saying 3 as though it's gotten better. 4 means you don't care or something like that. You're just here for the live chat. Speaking of vaccine sales, I have a couple of screenshots, I think, of people promoting the HHS on Twitter, because I go on Twitter sometimes. It's my secondary news source behind Commie Nonsense Network, CNN. HHS, Health and Human Services, hhs.gov. They're spending taxpayer dollars, as if that means anything, you know, to promote this. Look at this. Look at it. This one says, top off your immune system. Oh, gosh. They're treating it, it's like gasoline. Top off your immune system with an updated COVID vaccine. COVID is their global homo word for the China virus, to restore the protection you need against severe illness and death. Click the button to find vaccines. We can do this. And that's propaganda tweeted out by the far left. I call them far left. Enemies of America, HHS. Now, granted, they're not all bad, are they? They can't be all bad. Get an updated vaccine to help restore protection that has waned over time. And this like within like a year or less. And then they have another one of this black lady doing the pretzel stretch. You guys know the pretzel stretch? This one is good. I needed to do that last night, and now I'm suffering a little bit. I should have done that. Took my hour walk. Walking is good for you. And then I stretched, but I did not do the pretzel stretch. That's where you stick one leg out and then fold one knee up, one other leg up and around it on the other side of the knee. And then you hold it with your elbow or something. I don't put my elbow all the way over it, around it. I kind of hug my knee. But anyway. Shout out to this black lady with gray hair. Peacefully looking like she's a flexible grandma. You may be timeless. Oh, gosh. I just saw that. HHS kissing up to the black grandmas. She's nice. You may be timeless, but your COVID protection isn't timeless. Oh, come on. She's 60 or 70 or 80 or 90. Shout out to the blacks. If you haven't had a vaccine or booster since September 22, past her prime, says Nick. Your 2022, your protection is fading. September 2022, October, November, December, January, February. 5 months? It's ridiculous. An updated COVID vaccine restores your protection and helps keep you at your best. Not necessarily. I'm just going to say that. Far be it from me to spout fake news, right? I only spout CNN. Black don't crack. Indeed. So that's Twitter ads from HHS. That's the vaccine salesman you should criticize, not Trump. HHS are the types who would mandate it. I once took a photograph of a bunch of, like, a bag. I feel kind of weird calling it a baggie. Full of vegetables. With the baggie sounds like drugs. And then I called that a vaccine. because they changed the definition of vaccine as like something that you take to enhance your immunity and prevent the severity of a harsh disease. And vegetables, I heard, some of you differ, are good for you, I think, and help you fight off illnesses, boost your immunity and different things, right? Eating right, exercising, sunshine, those are, I venture to say, those are more basic to life and drinking water, and more important than any vaccine, maybe. I'm gonna hazard a guess. I'm so scared of getting censored again on YouTube. Is that controversial to say? Eating right, drinking enough water. Sandwich bag equals baggy. Yes, exactly. Not drugs. Where did Nick grow up? Anyway. So, calm down with this Trump criticism, right? So, let's talk about those migrants. Not just in America. And I don't like the term migrant, but the good thing about the term migrant is we know what they're talking about when they say migrant, right? Migrant has become a slur almost. I have a screenshot of this France famous video, viral video that was circulating like a year or two ago. I don't know when exactly it was. And I don't have the video for you. For me, it's too disturbing, even though it's not, I mean, he doesn't do anything bad. There's no blood. It's borderline, it's kind of violent. Yeah, it's assault. It's assault. But there's this black, dark black, like African migrant. I'm profiling him as African based on how dark he is and his hair is wild. Who like went to a French priest, Catholic priest, I assume, or some type of Christian church, I think. Flipped off his mask thing, and I was like, based. Just kidding. But I don't really like seeing those priests wearing their masks in church. Come on. Must be a liberal priest. Maybe he deserves it somewhat. Do you see that picture? Show it right now. I'll kind of describe what's going on. So, and then at this point, this is like, and the black guy, not to be confused, there's a black helper, church helper guy. That's a good black. This is in France, mind you. But this other guy with no shirt on, and he's like dark. Did they darken? I don't know. This is wild. A shout out to the dark blacks. We like dark black people. We like everybody. And then he like goes to the stand where the Bible, I think that's a Bible is, and he's like messing with the stand, closes the Bible, runs off with it. Somebody said, "Oh, good, maybe he'll read it." But it's crazy, huh? In France, a black so-called refugee, they call him a refugee. And I don't know if this is real news because this is from Twitter. But you get real news on Twitter. Interrupts mass, assaults the priest. And you can see the mask is hanging off the priest's left ear, just like Sleepy Joe used to do. He used to have the mask hanging off his ear while talking. Dude, it's a blue-black, says Big Bum. And steals the Holy Bible. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. So infuriating that clip it always is whenever I see it, you know? Hake, easily infuriated. Redheads are hotheads. I'm not Ginger. Don't call me Ginger. Whitey. So I don't know what, and his hair's all wild. I don't know, it's, what a mess. I wouldn't go to France, as Trump said, because France is no longer France. Remember that clip? Shout out to Place Boy. Cuz is a shadow, says Rick. Cuz is in this cousin, this black cousin. Yeah, he's really dark. Anyway, France is no longer France. there's been multiple terror attacks in Paris. Charlie Hebdo, je suis Charlie Hebdo. That dumb liberal cartoon, comic thing, political cartoon, and they get shot up. Kind of brought it on themselves by being dumb liberals. But it's so evil. Muslim terror attacks, and then these, I don't know, what a mess. Many of you guys probably saw that clip, but I just saw it and I just wanted to screenshot it. And I have another screenshot that I came across on Gab. Shout out to Gab. Sort of related to this, these foreigners taking over and pushing the whites around, pushing the Christians around, assaulting them, slapping them upside the head, and worse. Raping sometimes, allegedly, we've heard. Stealing their Bibles. In the Bible, speaking of the Bible, Deuteronomy 28, 43 through 44. I have this screenshot. And I assume that this really is in the Bible. I'm going to have to look it up. It's like maybe one of the curses that God laid out, or Moses or somebody. Deuteronomy, right? Moses wrote it, maybe? Shout out to Moses. Foreigners who live in your land will gain more and more power, while you gradually lose yours. They will have money to lend to you, but you will have none to lend them. In the end, they will be your rulers. Boy, isn't that true? All these disasters will come true, something, you will be destroyed because you did not obey the Lord your God and keep all the laws that he gave you. This could be, the black Hebrew Israelites talking about what's going on with them because, foreigners are living in Africa, supposedly. We colonized the heck out of Africa. All kinds of different colonization. And I'm okay with some colonization. That's good. Deuteronomy 28, 43 to 44. Make sure that this is real news. And I'm pretty sure that this is. Yeah, the foreigners living among you will become stronger and stronger. You become weaker and weaker. They will lend money to you, but you will not lend to them. Biblical facts, huh? Let me get the King James Version, because that was fake news. That was from the NIV, some liberal. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. That's Old English. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be thy head, and thou shalt be the tail. What a mess, huh? Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenedest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. Terrible. That's happening to everybody. All the whites, the Christians. Was God warning the white Christians about this? Or is it just something that just applies so often to people who forget God? But this was really a warning to Israel, I think. Right? It's Deuteronomy, right? Old Testament. This is the beginning of that chapter, Deuteronomy 28. It shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, thy means your, to observe and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, thee means you, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Well, that's what he said if you obey, and then if you disobey later, he said that the other stuff is going to happen. And worse, other things too. That was just one of the curses, I guess. Terrible, huh? I'm shaking my head, but what do you expect? Right? Am I right? You can call in 1-888-775-3773. Let's talk about the Queen. Not Marjorie Greene, not Queen Elizabeth. She's dead. Rest in peace. Queen Anne. Ann Coulter. And because we don't know woman is based, somebody said in the chat. And I think I guess, maybe that's true. I'm not sure. No, a woman. Can they? Queen Ann Coulter versus Nikki Haley. The far left extremist outlet, New York Post. People pretend New York Post is right wing. No, it's not. It's far left, I'm calling it. Because look at what they say, racist. Ann Coulter tells Nikki Haley, go back to your own country in racist attack. No right-wing outlet would ever call it anything racist. Would they? In my opinion. Please. This took place on the Mark Simone show. I don't know. She goes on these different radio shows, right? Ann Coulter. She's been on The Fallen State with Jesse Lee Peterson, been on the radio show a number of times. She admires JLP, agrees with him against women voting. Her pipe dream is that women not vote. Because she saw the country, she can plainly see, anybody can plainly see the country's declined rapidly with women voting. There are other problems too, but women voting accelerated it a lot. They vote in all these progressives. Progressively worse. Go back to your own country. Nikki Haley, if you don't know, so Ann Coulter writes books. She wrote Adios America. That's why I say Adios America. It's a tribute to Ann Coulter. Because immigration, and Trump read it, by the way. Our greatest president, before he became president, he read Adios America by Ann Coulter about the invasion, immigration. She said abortion and all these things, not going to matter because we are shipping in all these people who, legal immigrants, not just illegals, but illegals too. And they're they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people, as Trump said. Somebody's doing the raping. A lot of them are rape victims. Somebody's doing the raping. It's not Americans, normal Americans. So Adios America, that's a book by her. Nikki Haley was a Trump hater. And then she became into the Trump administration. He sent her off to the UN to be ambassador, U.S. ambassador to UN. He saved South Carolina from her. She was the governor. She stole the rebel flag. She tore down the beautiful rebel flag. I guess I'll show it. This is the beautiful rebel flag. That was once on the Capitol. Whoa, it scared me. I thought that was a cougar. Was once on the Capitol grounds of the state capital of South Carolina. And stupid. Sorry, kids. I'm not sorry, but don't say that too much. Parents, you have my sympathy. Your kids getting a bad example from Hake. Anyway, you guys know this story. I've talked about it many times. It's ridiculous. In overreaction after Dylann Roof shot up the black church, Dylann Roof flew the rebel flag. Because, some whites are into this too. I'm white. I'm into it. But a lot of blacks and Americans love this beautiful flag. It's a beautiful flag of love and states' rights and true independence, the American spirit. It's an American flag. It's not a traitor flag. You're a traitor calling it traitors. People calling, oh, get that traitor flag down. Loser flag. You're a loser. Spiritually. Well, I guess we all are. But Nikki Haley, evil woman, she's partly from India. Indian. When I hear Indian, I'm thinking American Indian. When Canadians hear Indian, they're thinking, well, Nick is American too, but he spent time in Canada. He's thinking the India Indians. This woman is the India Indian, Nikki Haley. Ann Coulter went on a racist tirade earlier this week, last week, I guess it was. Says the far left New York Post, extremist outlet, anti-white, ridiculous. In many cases, and this is one case. in which she suggested Nikki Haley go back to your own country, probably is what Ann Coulter said, where people are starving while worshiping cows and rats. I'm not laughing. I disavow such racism. I don't know how that's racist. It's talking about a nation's problems and idiosyncrasies. Ann Coulter also referred to Haley as a bimbo. Nice. It kind of is. Who's past her prime. And a preposterous creature. Ann Coulter with her big words. Haley, the Indian American, so-called American, former governor of South Carolina, who declared her candidacy for the GOP nomination for president earlier last week, has not commented on Ann Coulter's based remarks, because they're true, which she made on the Mark Simone show. I guess he's my competitor. Ann Coulter told Mark Simone that she was particularly angered by then-Governor Nikki Haley's decision to remove the Confederate flag. That's right. I'm taking sides. Shame on me. From the grounds of South Carolina's State House following the 2015 mass shooting at a predominantly black church in Charleston, South Carolina. And, you know, I told you how that propped up black writer, taking sides, GLP said not to take sides. And it makes sense. But I call him propped up, black writer who hates whites, believes in this racism stuff, brainwashes his children to believe in racism, or one kid anyway. Ta-Nehisi Coates. He wrote a couple of books that the liberals like, you know, the phony people, the phony Hollywood types, they like his books. You know, Eraser 2, that guy was reading Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. That guy. Who's that black guy from Eraser? He looks like everybody. He's black. Denzel Washington. He was reading a book by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Ta-Nehisi Coates, take down this flag. Get rid of the flag. Amazon banned it. You can't even buy this type of paraphernalia on Amazon anymore. The rebel flag. This is my country, lady, said Ann Coulter. Her comments were cited by NBC News, far-left enemies of America, NBC. I'm not an American Indian, and I don't like them taking down all the monuments, says Ann Coulter. Nikki Haley, the daughter of Indian immigrants, was born in South Carolina. Anchor baby. Who voted for her? Shame on South Carolina, the beautiful South. How far you've fallen. We've all fallen very far. During her campaign kickoff event last Wednesday, Nikki Haley called for a new generation to take the reins of the GOP. Yeah, right, not you. That was Trump. I stand before you as the daughter of immigrants, as a proud wife of a combat veteran, says Nikki Haley. I've never seen her husband. Did he die or something? I've never seen her husband. Anyways, I don't look at her much. And as the mom of 2 amazing children, although she is mildly attractive, right? Right? Ann Coulter, who has a history of making incendiary comments about immigrants, meaning true comments, sometimes with a little bit of malice, perhaps, or frustration. You know, Ann Coulter, she gets frustrated. Not good. Did not hold back during Wednesday's podcast appearance. Her candidacy did remind me that I need to immigrate to India so I can demand they start taking down parts of their history, said Ann Coulter to Mark Simone. What's with the worshiping of the cows? They're all starving over there. Not all, but many. Did you know they have a rat temple where they worship rats? Is that true? She's probably right. She is a history fiend, she said. Nikki Haley's ethnic background was fodder for left-leaning critics who took her to task for serving as UN ambassador during the presidency of our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump has also made controversial remarks about immigrants, controversial meaning true, immigrants and foreigners, and is looking to recapture the GOP nomination for president 2024. I wonder if Ann Coulter is going to come around back on Trump's side, because she turned a little bit against Trump there for a while. Ann Coulter's ran against Nikki Haley. I don't know why they call these women by their last names. You can't tell who it is. You need their first name. nearly coincided with base Don Lemon's sexist comments. He's a disgruntled CNN This Morning co-host, Don Lemon, who enraged his on-air colleagues, according to look at him. He's sitting between two women, three women sitting there, because he's kind of a girl at heart a little bit. Shout out to Don Lemon and those ladies. Enraged his on-air colleague Poppy Harlow by declaring the 51-year-old former UN ambassador Nikki Haley was not in her prime. She's 51, not in her prime. Because Nikki Haley was calling for competency tests for politicians over 75 who want to run for office. I think they should all be tested. Didn't the South do that type of thing for voters? Literacy tests for voters? I think the beautiful South did that, I heard. I don't know if that was right or not. Sounds reasonable, sounds kind of right. There were illiterate people, and probably illegitimate to this day. Basically children serving as politicians. Don Lemon was conspicuously absent from his co-host chair last Friday morning, skating on thin ice at CNN as a result of his latest blow-up, so say network sources, anonymous sources to the New York Post, which is just gossip, but Hake is relaying it. It was put out on New York Post. Don Lemon should go to News Nation, where based Cuomo went, and that guy Leland Vittert. Leland Vittert interviewed Jesse Lee Peterson on News Nation. That was cool. Ann Coulter was worshiping rats with Dinesh D'Souza, says Obvious Globe. Shout out Obvious Globe. I like your username. Obvious Globe. Obviously a ball. Ball earth till I die. Guys, hopefully I don't die, but gotta live right. Gotta live better, right? So anyway, let's get to some super chats, guys. You can super chat on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. But you can also super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. I think I get a few more cents out of buymeacoffee.com. And I changed the minimum to $3. So all you people who wanted to do $1 super chats, I'm limiting your ability to do that. You can't do that. You can do that over on Odyssey, I think, still. Or on Rumble. On rumble.com/The Hake Report. On odyssey.com/@The Hake Report. You can do those. But I switched it because I only got 42 cents out of every dollar that you gave me. What a shame. That doesn't seem right. But anyway, yeah. So I tripled the rate of your super chats sometimes. Sorry. Not sorry, really. Spoiler alert. I heard from Spoiler Alert. Hey. And that was yesterday. I was remiss in not reading it. I didn't spot it. I didn't see it. I wasn't looking for it. Gave a generous super chat donation. Tip. Sup, lad? Hey, spoiler alert. He is the premier, all-time best, I think he is, moderator on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show and the Hake Report, I suppose. Just a white man's white man. Solid guy. Tells you what you're doing wrong, and it's awesome. Nick never heard an issue about Spoiler Alert, and you heard issues about every other moderator. Shout out to the moderators, and we've had some awesome, great, amazing, to use JLP's word, moderators. Brandon Johnson, Matt Living the Dream, Blazing Hogs, Lord Bibby 42, and so many of others of you guys. So shout out to the moderators. Yes, we do violate your freedom of speech on our little chat places. Live with it. Spoiler alert, I interrupted his super chat. It says, "Sup, lad? Happy Washington's birthday. Yesterday was George Washington's birthday, who may or may not have been a great man. I think he was a great man. May or may not have been an evil man. All men are evil. I've heard interesting things from the fallen state with the legal man. YouTube suggested your stream, so I popped in. Cool show. Nice. Thank you, spoiler alert. I'm doing great, and I hope you are too. Yes, I am. Thank you, man. God bless you. Hashtag COVID is a hoax, I would disavow. And hashtag COVID is bigger than the Holocaust. Winky face. Nice. Right on, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I appreciate it, man. That's cool. There was an interesting Hake chat, by the way. Well, it was not Hake chat. It was a Hake News chat on the Jesse Lee Peterson chat. Omega Genesis stated, those people in East Palestine, Ohio, are just thinking too much, Hake. That crossed my mind. In fact, let me say this. Omega Genesis said, those people in East Palestine are thinking too much. Just thinking too much, Hake. Yeah. Quite plausible. Not only possible, but plausible. I told you about the train derailment and stuff like that. And Trump said that he's going to go visit East Palestine, Ohio. Let me find this item. Oh, yeah, this... The heading on my Hake News segment is Affirmative Action EPA Administrator. EPA admin. Told you about the black EPA administrator, Michael Regan. Almost Trump. Big Bump called him an Affirmative Action EPA admin. The nation's top environmental official. I'm shaking my head. Will visit East Palestine, Ohio today amid mounting reports of, listen to this, rashes, headaches, nausea, and other symptoms that residents fear could be related to the February 3rd derailment of a train carrying toxic chemicals. Now, I'm not saying that none of it's real. I'm just saying that your mind lies to you a lot. Our throats are sore. We're coughing a lot now, says Desiree Walker, who is a female, apparently, I'm assuming, resident living 900 feet from the site of the wreck. And that doesn't sound safe. It sounds dangerous. It sounds risky. Sounds hazardous. Sounds poisonous, toxic, whatever you're supposed to call it. But it works your mind too. You know, like your mind is more powerful at making you unwell than even like the poisons all around you. Turning the frogs gay and all that stuff. I think. That stuff is powerful too, right? I mean, stuff can kill you. Some stuff can. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg told reporters Monday he also plans to visit the community, quote, when the time is right, unquote. When the coast is clear, maybe. I don't know. JLP said that he heard that those are mostly whites and mostly Trump supporters. Well, if you say mostly white, then it's probably mostly Trump supporters. Because whites are mostly Trump supporters. Because whites are mostly sensible per capita. Maybe not sensible politically. Spiritually, I guess we're all senseless. Meanwhile, residents are criticizing the federal and state response to the wreck, saying more needs to be done to assure residents that the air and water in the town are safe, and the soil too. Crews have checked hundreds of homes, not detected any dangerous levels, keyword dangerous levels of contaminants. So said the EPA. All of a sudden, they're all loosey-goosey with their safety. Well, EPA is different from the CDC, right? Because the CDC has recommendations, crazy recommendations, about children needing the China virus vax. I disavow that criticism of the CDC. All children should get it, except for the ones who are at risk, which I don't know how you can know you're at risk from a vaccine. But the CDC, scared woman-led CDC, has had guidances. I remember hearing on Fox News that you're not even supposed to have steak that's not any less than well done or something like that, or medium well? I don't know, something like that, something high. You know how a lot of people like medium rare or rare steak? And medium rare is the typical thing that you get served even on burgers, not just steak, but burgers and everything else, except for maybe fish, I guess, or chicken, not sure. At restaurants, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. Nick may know. But did you know that, Nick, that I'm going to bring Nick in here just briefly here. Did you know that the CDC guidelines, and everybody's all Nazis, so-called not strict about, wear your mask, mask up, and get your shots, get your vaccine and booster vaccines, these liberals in LA, but the restaurants are still serving medium rare.
Oh, really? You know,
Yeah.
I stopped cooking in LA, but I stopped before all that stuff happened.
Right. I think the medium rare thing was a recommendation for years, decades maybe.
Yeah, people would ask, we'd have requests of certain rareness, and we were told just we're not allowed to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Where was this? Canada?
In Canada. And in Canada, I was trained that if someone got sick from food you cooked, it wouldn't be on the, it could be on the restaurant, but it would
could
be
be you
on
personally.
you
Whoa.
Like,
Dang.
you would be personally liable.
Base Canada going after the cooks.
Yeah, so,
Those foreigner cooks, because you're a foreigner. You're an American.
pretty much.
He's an American anchor baby
Yeah, foreigner in both lands.
in Canada. Wow, interesting. So nobody got sick off of your cooking.
No, I cooked that out of that stuff.
Okay, so in Canada, they strictly said you're not allowed to cook it rare or medium rare.
Anything over, pretty much rare. Remember
Okay.
they asked for blue rare? People would ask for blue rare.
Wow, what's blue rare?
Like a little tiny bit of sear. Just a little sear.
Oh, my goodness.
Sear, boom.
So the skin gets
It's like pretty much
singed.
all red all the way through, and then you have a little layer of gray all the way around. Blue
wow.
rare.
Blue rare. Wow,
Yeah.
I had never heard of that before. That doesn't even sound enjoyable. Have you ever had any rare, medium rare, or anything?
The rarest stuff I've ever had. No,
Other
I've
than
had blue
sushi.
rare. I've
You've
had
had
blue
blue
rare.
rare?
And
Was it
and
good?
Sushi and stuff. You know, it was interesting. It awoke.
Rubbery?
It awoke some like
Primal.
bloody carnivore stuff, and it was kind of good for a couple bites. I've had beef tatami, which is like just raw, not cooked at all, beef shaved into
Wow.
like little like strips
Yeah.
served over ice.
Interesting.
Yeah. Pretty good. That was good because it was really fatty, like really good beef.
Okay. Maybe back in the old days, we were able to eat stuff that was raw because it was clean, for one, and we were starving, hungry, and so we only needed a couple of bites to hold us over to the next thing. And we weren't full to begin with, because probably we're all like living relatively full. We're never really that hungry, starving, like the good old days, leaner times. I don't know.
I think you're onto something.
Maybe.
I've heard both, like, but it's also our life expectancy is higher because all this stuff.
Yeah.
I've heard that foodborne illnesses and stuff that we're warned of today is due to the manufacturing process, like salmonella and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. There's people who eat raw eggs. I see that all over Twitter.
Right.
And-
And that is a salmonella problem.
Huge
They say not
salmonella,
to
like,
they say not to eat raw cookie dough, even though that's the best cookie dough.
Yeah.
Because of the eggs in it.
I've done
Salmonella.
all that. I've
so
done all
good.
the above.
My mouth is watering right now.
I know. I've done all the above, and I think I'm okay.
Sail Away says blue rare is stunning, and he has the smiling face with the tongue sticking out, like licking his lips. Nice. Why does this taste like iron? Oh, crazy. Yeah, I'll usually get like medium rare in LA. I used to get well done because that's all my family did. And I know a lot of blacks around here eat well done.
Man,
But
after seeing some restaurant stuff,
yeah.
it really comes down to, do you trust that restaurant?
Okay.
Do you trust them?
Yeah.
And then most of the time, I'm learning, you can eat like
What can the
anything
restaurant?
raw.
What do you not trust about the restaurant? Their choice of where the meat comes from, or
How they store it and
how
handle
clean it
it
is?
How
Okay.
they store it and handle it. You could be eating like old chicken that's been in like in like still water. For
Yeah.
like, and then they'll cook it and it'll taste okay. But
Is it dangerous still?
yeah,
Okay. Even though it's been cooked, all the germs are not burned off?
absolutely. There's stuff that lives on food
Ooh.
that you can't cook off.
Wow.
And chemicals.
And chemicals
too, yeah.
can't be burned off, huh?
We got Billy here. What are you saying?
Bill's explaining.
Yeah, that's true. Like
do
there's
you say?
there's bacterias like botulism that will live on food even after you cook it. Well,
Uh-huh.
if you'll kill the bacteria, but the whatever the botulism bacteria excreted is still on the food.
Ooh. Oh, so it creates it creates chemicals that'll kill you or make you sick. What's botulism? That sounds familiar. It doesn't sound pleasant.
Yeah, it's like a pretty nasty bacteria. And it's
Okay.
also
What's the symptom that it happens?
I honestly forget.
Okay.
But I
Maybe it's
believe
best we don't know.
I believe this bacteria excretes this like pretty nasty chemical, and that chemical is used in Botox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Botox like kills
Botox kills the nerves, right?
nerves and
the-
stuff to like
makes you get-
tighten
Ooh,
skin and stuff.
makes you all puffed up and weird and fat looking.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen like the pictures of that woman? Don't pull up any pictures. Madonna. Oh,
Oh, jeez.
terrible.
She's saying it was just misogyny. People are criticizing her look. Like, no,
Yeah.
no, girl, we can see.
Terrible. Well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. So yeah, there's like a double standard in LA. If it's a conservative liberal thing politically, if it's a scaremongering thing about the China virus, they're on the CDC recommendations, but not so with the rare steak. People like their rare steak still. And the EPA is all Nazi about other people's stuff, but when it's a spill and fire and contaminants hurting the people, white people no less. I heard that they left blacks in the lurch before too, and I would believe it, of course. You know, the government's all messed up. Lead in the paint, making these blacks all violent, maybe, or something like that. Having a hard time learning, something like that. But anyway, I got more stuff to get to, but we are past the top of the hour. It is time for a break. I need a break. It's time for some Christian music. Phil Keaggy. Talk about suffering. From Phil Keaggy and Sunday's Child, Keagggy. From 1988. It's Christian, guys. Enjoy. Press mute, cover your ears, or grin and bear it, you musical Philistines, and I'll be right back for the rest of hour 2. Hang tight.
Talk about suffering here below and talk about loving Jesus. Talk about suffering here below and let's keep a following Jesus. The gospel train is coming. Oh, don't you want to go?
Isn't this nice? So nice. This was playing on Jesus. This was playing on Jesus' iPod as he flipped tables. So good. Phil Keaggy, guys. Hake wears bell bottoms while listening to this. Better than that horrible song from the beginning. Gospel train? Don't you want to go? Leave this world of trials. And troubles here below. I think it's a traditional song. Huh. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Phil Keaggy. I guess that's a cover song, maybe originally by Ricky Skaggs or Tony Rice and something like it. Skaggs and Rice? I don't know these names. Doc Watson maybe did one? I don't know. Never heard of these people. Never heard of them. 1980? Sounds kind of 70s or hippie-ish. Shout out to the hippies. Some of their music was cool, right? John Denver, that one song. I like that one song. Hey, interesting stuff going on over here. What's up, Asmodor? Nice to see you over there, our resident historian over there in the Odyssey chat. And shout out to the Rumble crew. Shout out to Rumble. Oh, by the way, let me read a few more chats. These are not specifically super chats, but they were interesting chats. I thought that they were interesting anyway. I don't know if I have good context for these, actually. I don't know if I have good context for these. Never mind. I like the chats, though. I'm reading your chats. Just know that I'm reading your chats, guys. What a mess. Interesting times, right, that we're in. Are we not? Speaking of super chat moderators, or chat moderators, not super chat moderators. For the most part, we don't moderate the super chats. A little bit. But I saw this meme shared on Twitter by chief tweeter Elon Musk, who I heard is stepping down later at the end of this year, maybe, to be replaced by another CEO, because he's like George Washington. He doesn't want to overstay his welcome. I heard. That so goes with a story that I learned as a kid. Here's this nice meme shared by Elon Musk about content moderation. Moderation. All things in moderation. Isn't that a biblical thing? Nice. Shout out to South African Elon Musk. Christian. Especially content moderation. Be moderate in your content. Moderate yourself, content moderators. And I'm not talking about our moderators on the chat, but yes, you should be moderate. You should moderate yourself, meaning have some self-control. Be not aloof. What's the word? Aloof is a nice word, okay. Dispassionate is an okay word for it. It's a good word for it. Elon Musk tweeted out a meme of a painting purportedly of Martin Luther, not to be confused with Martin Luther King. Shout out to Maze, my favorite caller. She called into the Jesse Lee Peterson show and said they called Martin Luther King Martin Luther something else. Ooh, something. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that word. People say that that's a racist word. Hey. And, but this is Martin Luther, the first Protestant. Shout out to the Protestants and shout out to the Catholics. We love you, Catholics. If we love anybody, we're supposed to anyway. Or is this Church of England? Martin Luther, was he German? I think it was Germany. Was it Germany? I don't know much about history or geography. But look at this caption, purported caption over here from Elon Musk's tweet, meme. You know, Martin, this is guys confronting Martin Luther, because Martin Luther nailed up these 10 or 12 or something differences that he had with the church establishment. They were like selling something like indulgences where the rich people could pay the priests or the church or whatever, and then they get free reign to sin sometimes or forgiveness of their sins or all kinds of different things that Martin Luther disagreed with and said, this is not right. Maybe he was wrong or maybe he was right. Maybe a mixture. But he became a Protestant because he protested against the Catholics who were corrupt at the time, I guess. Maybe he was corrupt too, I don't know. You know, Martin, though, this is these guys. You know, Martin, it's just going to be taking down his complaints that he nailed up on the door of the church or something. And you'll be blocked from posting for the next 30 days. Because you know how you guys want to post stuff on Twitter? It's just going to get taken down. You'll be blocked from posting the next 30 days. Or you'll be in Facebook jail. That's more like it, right? Because Facebook puts you in jail for 30 days. Twitter puts you in jail for 7 or something like that. And you have to take down the post. You have to personally take it down. If you refuse, you'll be suspended indefinitely. And then in some cases, you'll just be banned forever. Big Bump says, George Washington declined to be becoming king. And you got to watch the Legal Man episode, Big Bump, because George Washington, they may never have been for him becoming king because they fought to get rid of a king. But maybe he declined to become a king. I don't know if that's true news or true history or fake history or fake news. I don't know. Maybe some of them wanted him to be that. Ooh, man. I should have been doing this pretzel stretch. I'm suffering right now. Like that black grandma, flexible grandma. So right on, Elon Musk. I like that direction of, at least he's encouraging it, even if he's not, even to this day. Am I in the center? I think I'm in the center. Yeah. Even to this day, Twitter is still banning people and suspending them for silly things because all the trash, people are not trash, but in their hearts is trash, right? All the people with trash in their hearts, evil in their hearts, are not gone from Twitter. A bunch of them are, thank God, but we don't expect it to get much better, right? But I like that he's saying something that's fair. Based Elon Musk, and I use the term very loosely. Right? My back. Got to stretch more. It's more than just stretching, I hear. It's exercising. Some of you guys say I should lift weights. Body weight exercises. Anyway, whatever. Right on, Elon Musk. Speaking of the Catholics, shout out to the Catholics. We love you, Catholics. You're a mess. So are the Protestants. Lent starts tomorrow. Lent. What are you going to give up for Lent? Today's Fat Tuesday. Today's Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras. The last hurrah. What, are blacks Catholic down in Louisiana? Is that, or who does Mardi Gras? Those degenerate French or Creoles or what? Why is New Orleans so messed up, so degenerate? Such that God flooded it. I'm kidding. Tomorrow, February 22nd, Wednesday, is Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent, according to Common Nonsense Network. Lent is when you give up something for Lent. Maybe I should give up not lifting weights for Lent and start lifting. I don't know. Something. I haven't been drinking rock stars. Are you proud of me? I think I might have drinking across 2 days one rock star. It was like a lemonade recharge, recovery rock star. It's supposed to help you get, I mean, you could just drink water, get hydrated again. But for the most part, I've been having like iced tea, unsweetened iced tea, no less, which I hear is not good for your teeth. Like it turns them brown. Worse than coffee, I hear. But iced tea has some caffeine in it. Sometimes I'll have like a yerba mate. I call them yerba mates. You guys call them, if you're snooty, you probably call it yerba mate. Which is like maybe too sweet. I wish that they had like an unsweetened or less sweetened version of yerba mates. I'm so bad now. Like I find that as a kid, I did not like iced tea, especially if it was unsweetened, right? Because I thought it was Coke, and they're like, this is flat and it doesn't taste good. No fizz. And I didn't ever like Coke either. I thought, oh, maybe root beer. But now I like iced tea. It's like exciting. It's like, oh, this tastes better than, this has more taste to it than water. But this is water. Maybe I'll give up water for Ash Wednesday. No, that wouldn't be good. Maybe you should give up Chick-Fil-A because Chick-Fil-A is degenerate. You know what's degenerate? Chick-fil-A, evil Chick-fil-A has a new sandwich. I don't know how new it is, but this is maybe old news. A couple of Fridays ago. The fast food chain Chick-fil-A, which is evil, anti-white, even though I like their employees are cool. Professional, young college students, or that age, you know. College students I'm not a fan of sometimes. But they are like professional. In-N-Out employees are cool too. If you're in a state that has In-N-Out, I think they may be better than Chick-fil-A. But Chick-fil-A's, they're nice and professional and kind. Pleasant. The fast food chain Chick-fil-A will debut a cauliflower sandwich on its menu this week or last week. I think last week is when it started. Have you guys had a cauliflower chicken sandwich? I bet you that's never too dry. You know how sometimes chicken is too dry? Maybe I should bring Nick on this. Have you ever heard of cauliflower stuff? Do you have any opinions on this stuff?
Yeah, it's all over now. It's starting to go all over as like a meat replacement.
Oh, okay. I've had I shall not cap or front. Oh, I shouldn't use this black terms, but it is Black History Month. I hate using these black terms. I will not hide it. I have had buffalo cauliflower. And that's
yeah,
pretty
what was
good.
that?
Buffalo cauliflower is like buffalo chicken wings. Boneless. It's boneless. Joel Friday
Definitely
TV.
boneless.
Joel Friday likes boneless chicken wings.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
So nuggies.
Yes. But
It's like a
buffalo.
trendy.
Yeah, it's trendy, but it seems healthy. It's less filling.
It's definitely less
Chicken's
filling.
pretty good for you anyway, but some of you guys don't eat chicken. Pescatarians, vegetarians, vegans. Do you have any opinion on this stuff? Have you had
a little bit, yeah, because and nothing about like taste or anything. I feel like it was a little trendy. A couple restaurants I worked at, they just kind of started adding some kind of fried cauliflower item.
Okay.
We had one where it was like a whole cauliflower head, fried, and then tahini all over it. Some
tahini?
Tahini. It's a sesame. It's like a sesame toasted sesame sauce It's like a Arabic
Okay.
or Mediterranean.
Not to be confused with tajin,
no, not
the
definitely not
spicy
tahini.
salt stuff. That
Yeah, that's
Mexicans
Mexican.
have. Okay.
And they'd fry this cauliflower, put the tahini, some nuts, and like a green chimichurri and pomegranates. Anyways, the
Chimichurri.
cauliflower I always noticed was always really, really oily, and it just hold all this oil. And I started seeing this cauliflower stuff and healthy alternatives at these restaurants and fast food places.
Yeah.
And when you look at, and they got to put all this sauce over it.
To make it tasty.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't have much taste at all.
And people, this really shows just how easily, I guess, fooled people are. Because if you look at some of the nutritional stuff, it's like as bad or worse.
Because of all the stuff that
All
they
the
put
sauce and fat and oil, and like some people decry seed oils and all that. Well, this is chock
Yeah.
full of it, and so
on. Does peanut butter have seed oil? Because peanuts are seeds, right? Do they have peanut butter oil? Is peanut butter seed oil? Do you know?
no,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure not. But they do add oil to
Oh.
emulsify it and in the manufacturing process.
Oh, okay. So then it has seed oil or canola oil or some type of
but
oil.
peanut oil is a little different, I think.
Okay.
It could be.
Peanuts are
one
not
of
the
those
best for you, I
PUFAs.
guess. I don't know. They're not the worst. They make you have gas sometimes. Depends on your body, I guess. But anyway. Terrible.
Yeah.
You need to eat apples. Interesting. Yeah.
Apples
so
get you
maybe
going good.
so if I'm eating these buffalo cauliflower, then I'm probably eating a whole bunch of
Just fat, and not like natural fat.
yeah.
Usually I've noticed.
And the buffalo sauce is pretty spicy on it.
Mm.
Which Dr. Singh told me I had too much fire because my tongue is red.
Really?
10 years ago, I went to Dr. Singh and he said, you have too much fire. You don't need to be eating spicy food.
Really?
So I cut way back. Yeah, I cut way back from that.
Too much fire.
Peanuts are legumes, Hake. Whatever that is.
I mean, they're in a pod.
Oh, yeah, true. That means that's what legumes are?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
They grow in a pod.
Right, because there's two peanuts
Like
in a
beans.
pod. Oh, like peas.
Peas,
Oh.
beans,
Oh, okay.
lentils.
All right.
Maybe
once-
not lentils.
I once saw diet cauliflower. Legume, Hake. So, okay, peanut's not a seed. Okay, ignorant Hake. Fake news. Fake news, Hake.
Oh, you called it a seed?
Yeah, I called it a
You said
too.
seed oil, but I didn't.
And I said
ca-
peanut's a
didn't-
seed, right?
I didn't
Oh, dumb.
clue in that you're calling it a seed. No.
Right.
I think you'd first go to it's a nut and get that wrong.
Right.
I didn't think you'd
I
go
knew that
seed.
it's not a nut. I knew the peanuts are not nuts. So I called
I
it
would
a
think
seed.
you'd go first nut before seed.
Because I have no idea what legumes are. Like, legumes, what's that? But you guys tell me and I always forget. Cauliflower came from broccoli, says Flat Sabbath. Yeah, so how about, have you ever had cauliflower pizza crust? We got to move on, but I
Oh
just want to
no, I've never had that.
I've
And
had it.
I'll try, but
it's okay.
never even seen that. What is that?
You have not heard of that? I heard of that before. I heard of cauliflower as a chicken replacement.
What the heck? I've never heard it called. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember one time, just to be healthy or something, in my scrambled eggs, my mom added cauliflower, and so I'm eating it, and I'm like, "This tastes funny." But I
Yeah.
didn't say anything, and she's like looking at me eat it. She's like, "So." She's like, "Good, right? Did you even notice?" I'm like, "Yeah, I could taste weird."
Right, and the texture is probably odd too.
Yeah.
Maybe. Cauliflower, when it's steamed, is not bad. Raw, it's not bad. It just doesn't taste like much, and you have to like chew through it and chomp through it and finish it. But yeah, people are spoiled, I guess. Spoiled, taken, marketing. Interesting.
If you're gonna eat junk, go have a burger.
I do notice that, sweet potato fries and maybe the buffalo cauliflower, they're not as filling as, maybe the buffalo cauliflower is kind of filling, but sweet potato fries versus real fries, much less filling than the starchy potato fries, I've noticed. Just a side note. Not saying it's healthier, just saying that you don't get as stuffed. So, anyway, thank you, Nick. Appreciate that. Let's finally get to a call or two, guys. Finally, right? Jonathan, a first-time caller in Clearwater, Florida, is on the line. How are you doing, Jonathan? Thanks for calling and holding. What's up?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
It's a little off topic, but
That's
one
fine.
thing I've been thinking about, I've wanted to mention, is one thing that bothers me about the liberals, which is pretty much everything. But, the whole Trump movement, it was so fun. It was such a fun thing to be a part of.
Right, true.
Here comes this businessman who, he's a rich guy, but he did it, himself.
Yeah,
He spoke about the things everybody was interested in, and it was natural. It was a natural grassroots movement, and I feel bad because they missed out. They were mad and believing the media the whole 4 years, and they just missed out.
Yeah, that's so true, huh? They missed out on the
they
fun.
Could have been they could have been enjoying this and laughing at the funny things he says and does. Instead, they had this critical eye, and if he stuttered or spelled something wrong, they're counting his lies. It's just so
I know.
petty.
His quote-unquote lies.
Cringe people out of everybody.
They're the biggest lies.
Yeah.
Biggest liars, accusing this man who they hate him mostly for telling the truth.
Yeah.
And
one of his lies was that he said he had Big Macs stacked a mile high, and they fact-checked that.
They called that a lie.
On,
That's funny, man.
Yeah, they called it a lie. Like he was really saying we stacked Big Macs a mile high.
Right.
I'm like, I feel bad. Like your girlfriend or your sister, your cousin, you're like not friends with them for the whole freaking 4 years.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
They want to ruin the country, and we can overlook that.
Yeah.
And we want to save the country, and they can't overlook that. It's like it's a bummer.
I had an illegal friend. I think he was illegal. Maybe he's not illegal anymore. Who was just had severe Trump derangement syndrome. He would post on Facebook, "Oh, this piece, whatever, cussing, all mad." And one time he posted that clip, which I've never shown on my show, of him tossing the shooting baskets. Shooting the
paper towel.
Throwing the paper towels to the people in the crowd in Puerto Rico. And they were trying to call that racist. He's throwing paper towels at them, so disrespectful. But they were having fun. He was having fun with them. They liked it, but these people have such a poor sense of humor, and they're so subject to the deception of Satan in their imagination and the liberal media, same thing, that you're right. They had no fun. So you felt bad for them?
Yeah, I just been thinking about it, and I'm in a way, it's like you had this great ride.
Yeah.
They didn't get to experience any of it. They didn't get to laugh at any of the jokes. They didn't get to acknowledge any of the awesome things that were happening in our country.
Right.
And they just missed out. I'm like, forget the fact that you're wrong and you're promoting the ruining of our nation and don't even know it.
Right.
You're just missing out on a good time.
Yeah. So true. It was so refreshing when he would tell the truth, and he told the truth in like a good-naturedly. It wasn't hateful. I generally never picked up anything hateful or frustrated about him when he would say stuff.
I would use this little analogy. Like, let's say your daughter was somebody snatched your daughter so they could do God knows what to her. And along comes this guy on a motorcycle, and he's smoking cigarettes. He might be drinking. Maybe he's got habits you don't agree with.
Yeah.
He curses. But this guy saved your daughter. You wouldn't say, yeah, he's a prick, though. Yeah, but look at those tattoos. He's been to prison. You'd say, that guy's my man.
Right.
I mean, with all his flaws, he's our guy. He saved my daughter. And our daughter is the country. And he was the jerk we needed. He was, with all his flaws, he was the perfect guy,
Agreed. And,
I hope he comes back. I know.
Yeah, and those people are like, oh, he's a vaccine salesman. But he wasn't for mandatory vaccines. I can't imagine him ever being for forced vaccination like the liberals are for. He was damned if he did and damned if he didn't on the vaccine thing. Yeah.
If he didn't push it, they would be all over him. You let people die, you didn't even care. And if he did, then the best thing he could have done was make it happen and give us the option.
Right.
But no, that's
he's
the problem. And they boo about that.
Right. And I'm fine with them booing because, they got their disagreements with him. And it's totally fine to disagree and boo and all that stuff, speak your mind. But to completely turn on him over that, and then, I had one friend of JLP's show and of the Hake Report and of Bond is not even going to, according to him, not even going to vote for Trump because of the Vaxx, not firing Fauci, promoting red flag laws, turning on the Second Amendment somewhat. He's not 100%. He's not an A+ on the Second Amendment or on really anything, really. But he's like so much better than anything that we've had. Why would not be supportive of the man?
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah, you know what else?
Yeah.
What you what did you go ahead, finish your point.
No. One last thing I was going to say was, up until Trump, we were under the impression that any decision a president made took like 5 to 10 years to come to fruition. That's what we thought. We thought, hey, it takes time. It's got to work through the system. And then Trump gets in office and things happen instantaneously. And then you're like, oh, they were just BSing us the whole time. They were just not getting it done.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. That's so true. He was a make it happen type of guy. Now, there was a lot of people who were holding him back and counter signaling, not just counter signaling, working against him in his own administration, leaks, so-called whistleblowers, which is the same thing, scumbags, just phony people, misguided people. But one thing that I want to point out that you reminded me of when you said, "Oh, these people are missing out on a great time." I wonder if that's what God is thinking, looking at us, all of us miserable about life, thinking about our lives, worrying about our lives, upset. All a mess.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And he's like, "You're missing out on I gave you this great life, and you're what's the word?
Blowing it.
Blowing it. Yeah, something. You're wasting it. You're not flaunting. It's on the tip of my tongue. These words. I don't have good
Squandering.
Squandering is a good word for it. Yeah. Yep. Terrible.
Yeah. I agree. Anyway, I appreciate you letting me on. I love Jesse. I love your show. I'm glad to see you growing, and thanks for letting me hop on, man. I appreciate it.
Great call, Jonathan. Call me again sometime when you can. Take care.
I definitely will. Thank you. I'm Jonathan in Clearwater.
Nice. Right on, man.
All right.
Adios. Bye. Jonathan in Clearwater, Florida. Shout out to Based, Florida. Sometimes. Some of you guys are solid. In every place, right? Maybe. Reading the chat over here. Spoiler alert says it's time to understand that all national level politicians are just actors working for what he calls Jewish mafia. I disavow. It's that bad. And I've heard people say stuff like, I've heard Big Bear. You guys just heard of Big Bear? Owen Benjamin, who's been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show before, spoken at a men's conference, said that when you go for that ring of power, you're like corrupt because you're after power. I don't know. I got this. You might be right. You may well be right. More than anybody, it felt like Trump was genuine, in contrast with all those phonies, and really cared about the country. And a lot of us care about the country. So, we do misguided things in our caring about different things, right? It's so true. But he was pretty mature and measured in so much of what he did. But, he did work for those people a little bit, kind of. He was very friendly to Israel. I don't have a problem with it. Maybe I don't know enough to have a problem with it. A super chat from Asmodor over on Odyssey, odyssee.com/@ the Hake Report. Also a health expert. Did you know? Says, Hake, peanut oil is made by pressing peanuts in a gin. And what is a gin? I don't know, because I'm from the city, and I'm from Southern California and ignorant. But you press peanuts in a gin. Peanuts aren't a seed either, in the sense that other seed oils are. Seed oils, quote unquote, are bad for you because of the chemical processes. Is it processes or processes? Used to extract the oil. Oh, I know, because I always heard about sunflower seed oil or all these different oils, vegetable oil. Oh, vegetable has the word vegetable in it. oil, so must be okay. But it's the chemical processes that are used to extract that oil that makes it bad. Oh. So we should have just been using butter the whole time. Or what, olive oil or something? What are you supposed to use? I need to bring Nick in on this.
Depends like what.
Yeah, well, it depends on what the use of the oil is, isn't it?
But you can cook pretty much everything with, if not butter, something like clarified butter, ghee.
What's ghee? I've heard of ghee.
Yeah, it's a clarified butter. It's just butter.
Ghee.
Yeah, it's just butter heated up and cooked until you separate most of the milk fat from the milk solids, and you keep most of just the milk fat.
That's right. Butter comes from milk.
Yep. And there's still
That's why
some
it's
milk
called dairy.
solids. There's still some milk solids and proteins in butter, which is why it's kind of got a more unstable constitution, easier to spoil. Still won't spoil as fast as people think.
Right.
But ghee can withstand a way higher temperature. It's like cooking with oil,
Wow.
but it's butter. And then, there are just more healthy, from what olive oil,
Yeah.
I wouldn't cook a steak in olive oil, but,
What would it taste like? Was it because of taste?
taste, flavor. Yeah. But
I know I don't like olive taste, but olive oil is okay. But olives, that taste, that. Maybe if you thinly slice and cook it well done and sparsely scattered on a pizza, I can have some olive slices. But it has to be with other stuff on an everything pizza. A Supreme or whatever.
hidden under a mound of cheese.
Right. Interesting. Huh. Okay,
And then there's,
interesting.
like, other high temperature oils.
So we got-
avocado oil, I hear people use.
Cod oil, and that's fish.
Avocado.
Oh, avocado oil. And so people got away from butter because it was fat. But that was a scam. We should have stuck with the fat because we replaced the fat with foreign substances.
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
Margarine is oil, right? Margarine's not so good for you after
Yeah,
all, right?
margarine is like something else.
I can't believe it's not butter.
It's not.
Is that margarine when they say I can't
Yeah, I'm
believe
pretty
it's not butter?
sure that's
Okay.
that brand was margarine.
Was it margarine? There's things that we do
That's
in
why this.
vanity.
Yeah, that's why this like healthy alternative stuff.
It's such a scam.
I saw this bag of chips and it was like plant-based chips, and I'm
Right.
like, potatoes are plants,
Right,
and
true.
then they went from a potato to this mixture of this slurry of God knows what, and it's worse if you looked at the nutrition. It's like worse, way more sodium. Like it was worse, a bunch of sugar
Yeah.
than normal potato chips. But you could say it's plant-based, so people just like, oh, that's better.
I know. It's natural. But everything is natural, almost. Or is it, if it has ingredients? I don't know. Olive oil is the oil of our people, Hake, says Space Cadet. Who's our people? What are you, Space Cadet? Are you Italian or are you my fellow Dane? Are you my fellow Dane? Are the Danish?
The
in
Danish?
olive oil?
The olive oil is the Danish?
No, I don't. I think it's
Must be some kind of Mediterranean.
it's Italian. Those
Right.
Italians.
I was reading Hippocrates a little, this Roman physician.
Hippocrates.
Hippocrates.
Well, I mean,
Hippocrates.
you're probably pronouncing it correctly.
I think it is Hippocrates.
Okay.
But now you're gaslighting me.
The Hippocratic Oath. He's that guy?
That guy.
The one you say, do no harm, with the doctors falsely pledge that they will do no harm, and then they kill babies and give you forced vax. But anyway,
And he mentioned
sometimes those are okay.
he mentioned all this external use of olive oil, and I didn't see anything about eating it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Rub it on
Romans-
your skin. It's good
Rubbing
for
it
you.
on your skin, they would use it as a protection against rain.
Oh, that's
You know what I'm
funny.
saying? Like
Make
an
you
umbrella, like a
waterproof.
natural umbrella. Yeah, waterproofing. That's what I meant. And but I'm sure they ate it.
The Danish cook with frosting, says Mike Gibson.
That's true. They have this like weird. Look. Sorry, Danish. Look.
Shout out to the Danes.
Shout out to the Danes, but I seen some of this strawberry pasta stuff. What's wrong? You guys got problems? No. It doesn't look good. No, don't say that. I don't know if pasta's supposed to be candy like that.
I like the butter Danish cookies. Man, those shortbread. Shortbread is
Shortbread
Scottish,
is
huh?
pretty-
Is that Scottish
Oh, I don't know.
or English?
But shortbread's dope.
Yes, it really is. And that's a lot of butter.
Yeah,
And
that's what's so
flour.
good. Shortbread is a traditional Scottish biscuit. Nice.
Okay. Nice.
Wikipedia. Okay.
More super chats from our resident health expert and historian, Asmodor, on Odyssey. Butter, avocado oil, olive oil, these are all healthy. Nick is right about ghee as well. Ghee, which is that refined butter or something like that. Avocado oil withstands high temps. Yeah, somebody said grapeseed oil, and somebody in the chat said that too. I'm not sure about grapeseed. Butter replacement originally happened during World War II because butter was sent to the troops. And oleomargarine, says our resident historian, was the replacement offered to the folks left at home. Oh, so we gave the good stuff to the troops. Nice. In the good old days, the men ate first because they had to hunt and all that stuff, and the women and children got the leftovers. And the dogs went out hunting, I guess. Pork lard, says Maine Franken. I guess pork lard used to be good for you. I think it still is good for you, right? Don't they not cook in lard anymore? And you're
No, not anymore.
and isn't it supposed to be good? Isn't it better than that oil that they dip they used to dip French fries in lard?
That's true.
was good.
McDonald's famously fried their fries in beef tallow.
And
is
tallow
lard.
is lard. Okay.
But from what I could tell, I would rather go with something like that if I had to pick something oily to fry something in.
Right.
Just
It's natural. You eat
Yeah.
the whole animal.
and I think the what's it called? Exactly, eat the whole animal. But I think the general consensus and I don't know, probably like hundreds of years of medical history. I think it's true that if you eat way too much fat, you'll clog yourself up, like just
Right.
excessive. But if you're gonna do it, just eat it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Instead of trying to replace it.
I have whole milk yogurt, plain whole milk yogurt, which is whole milk means fat, has all the fat in it.
Let's go.
And I figure, come on, I'm not eating much else that's that bad. I mean, I'm eating a lot of stuff that's bad when you really pay attention to what you're eating.
Yeah.
Probably eating a lot of bad stuff.
Mm.
But when you go to the grocery store and you buy mostly pretty good stuff,
If you
So-
avoid like restaurant, just cook.
yeah,
I think you'd be mostly okay, and not getting like the packaged stuff.
right,
Just in the produce in the back sections,
Right.
The perimeter.
yeah,
Avoid the middle, unless you need bread and
yes,
sauce and like spices or whatever.
and oatmeal
Oh, yeah,
and
that too.
stuff like that. The Indians sometimes gave ghee to the rats at the Kamimata temple of rats.
Yeah, I was
Ann
looking
Coulter
that up.
referenced it.
I was looking at it when you were
Circle of
talking about
life.
it.
Wow.
Yeah, they have like these bowls of I think it was like kefir or something, like a yogurt, and then just rats all around it. Pictures of it. I was looking it up when you were talking about it.
Terrible.
Rat.
So Ann Coulter knows her stuff. Based Ann Coulter. The heart disease epidemic began when lard was replaced with Crisco, says Asmodor.
I've heard that.
What a mess. Was that government lies or was that these women health nut propagandists scaring us? Fear. What a mess. Terrible.
Rat temple. No, I mean on screen.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry, Hake. Sorry, viewers. I didn't mean to.
Rats in heaven.
Anyways,
That's a rat temple. That was in India. Wow.
the one that the chatter mentioned.
That's a circle of rats. Circle of life. What a mess. Did you know also, maybe you're not supposed to wash your clothes too much? I heard. It's been, Call Me Nonsense Network reported earlier this month. It's been nearly 3 years since much of the United States was shut down due to the China virus. They called it the COVID-19 epidemic. And people started working from home in their pajamas or wearing the same pair of jeans days on end. Do that anyway. Because it's clean. But it is, now that the job market is booming, supposedly, is the job market booming? I guess, kind of. I don't know. Is it? I mean, I heard there's a lot of job openings, but not a lot of people going to work. I don't know. I can't keep up. This may feel like fake news. Workers are returning to the office, so-called workers. People spend time on their cell phones watching Hake. Is it time to start washing your clothes more often after you've worn them all day long? How many times can you wear your pajamas, jeans, and other clothes without washing them? Experts weigh in. It's based more on folklore or your upbringing than professional advice. Well, TikTok advice say one lady says that she wears the same pajamas multiple times. When I was younger, my parents always made us wear pajamas multiple nights in a row because they weren't dirty. Makes sense unless you sweat a lot. Maybe you do sweat more than you realize. And sweat is not dirty, is it? Is it dirty necessarily? I don't know. Depends on the person, maybe. Just smell your clothes. Is that a good barometer? Is that a good measure? Just smell your clothes. If it smells, or if you wake up and you're kind of sweaty, I don't know. Depends on the race. Depends on the diet. I heard when I was going to college, Christian college, I learned that some of the Arabs don't wash much. It's manly. I don't know about that one. Smell bad. Re-wearing the same clothes on consecutive days is linked to avoiding decision fatigue. Hence, wearing the same clothes involves less decisions and making less stress every morning, says Manal Mohammed, senior lecturer of medical microbiology at the University of Westminster in London. Nice British name over there at the University of London, Mohammed. But it's funny because, anyway, Zuckerberg has a whole closet full of gray T-shirts, so he's always wearing a gray T-shirt. So he doesn't wear the same gray T-shirt every day. He just wears a different one, but it's always gray, so he doesn't have to think. Cut down on decision making. Not knowing when to wash your clothes can have consequences of both ends of the spectrum. Washing too seldom could lead to skin problems or infections. Whoa. Washing them too often could harm your clothing. Wear them dry. Wear them out too much. Wash what you must wash. On the parts of the body that has a lot of natural bacteria that lives on our body. Pits, where it counts, places like that, I guess. Oh, socks sometimes. Wool socks you can wear multiple times. Cotton maybe so too, but not so if you have polyester in them, I've noticed. Anyway, that's the story. Let me get to another call here, guys. Chad in Dominican Republic is on the line. Chad, how you doing?
Amazing. You got to me quite fast, man.
Right on. And you're really from Canada, right? Back off your phone. Are you on speakerphone or are you just talking too hard into your phone receiver?
Let me check my source here. No, I'm on phone. I'll take it away from my face a little. How's that?
That sounds fine. When you talk loud, it goes kind of like. But you go ahead. That was happening on the Jesse Lee Peterson show when you called, I think, too.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm originally from Canada, but I left Canada.
I can hear it.
Canada is an absolute mess, so I left it and I.
So the DR is better,
back.
huh?
Absolutely. They're still a little bit Christian around here. They still praise Jesus, but in their own way.
Okay.
At least abortion is still illegal, and being an atheist is still frowned upon. So,
are you a white Canadian?
Absolutamente, but I'm mixed native, but I swear I look like your brother.
Oh, okay. Native meaning like American Indian.
American Indian. My mother is
Nations.
Probably 50% on paper, but I look 100% white. Nobody could tell the difference if I applied for a job, so that's the best thing about it.
The DR, Dominican Republic, is the bigger half, the better half of Haiti, of the island that's Haiti, and Haiti is degenerate and gets all kinds of disasters. And
well, they get. What's wild is tornado. Well, hurricanes and stuff will come into the Dominican Republic, and they'll circumvent the island and go straight to Haiti. And I believe that it might be the will of God, because there's still a little bit of God here. It's so wild. All the hurricanes go for Haiti. All the earthquakes go for Haiti. And Dominican Republic's a little bit fine.
That's funny, man. And Dominican Republic is more Christian, whereas Haiti is more degenerate.
Yeah, they're all into the voodoo and the demon and all that stuff.
And they're kind of French too. Are they part French?
Yeah, they had a slave uprising, but they still kept their little French roots. And I heard that they still pay money to France every year just to keep relations going. They still pay homage to France.
Wow.
To France. Yeah, and that's crazy.
Yeah. Whereas Dominican Republic is more Spanish. Spain.
Yeah, Spanish
and black.
Spanish Catholic, but everybody's got like this kind of like, they don't like the Catholics too much because they understand what the Catholics did, and I don't. There is a Catholic church in my town, but everybody around here is not too Catholic. They kind of understand the history behind it.
Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
What did the Catholics do to the people of the Dominican Republic? Did they enslave them or something?
You know how the Catholics are just like they're just continuing the Roman Empire. They're not really Christian in their own right.
Oh, okay.
So it's all about conquering and political stuff, right? So everybody here is Christian, but they're not so much. There's not a big Catholic group. There's probably about 5 or 6 churches in my town, and only about one Catholic church.
Oh, wow. Interesting, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, you called in about something else.
Calling about your little discussion about animal fats versus plant fats versus grain fats and all that stuff.
I didn't realize we were talking about that, but you're right, I guess. Oil is fat.
Yeah.
Is oil fat or something like that? I don't know. Butter.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So when I was a bit younger, I lost 100 pounds on a high fat, high protein diet, and what I leaned towards was animal fats. They're absolutely the best for you.
Wow.
And there was a huge propaganda campaign that convinced the population that fat equals fat, and not that excess calories equal fat.
Yeah.
So people are always looking for something that's a lesser fat. So they go for margarine, they go for anything they can to have a lesser fat, but that's not the problem. The problem is excess calories.
Sugar.
And the absolute, yes.
Drinking your calories, I've heard, is really bad. Like beer and
Coke,
soda and all that stuff. Yep.
When I was morbidly obese, I was drinking about 6-7 Pepsis a day, and that was my bane of existence, was sugared drinks.
Yeah.
But the absolute worst thing for you is fat, oils from grains. So canola oils, anything you can imagine from grains is the absolute worst for you. The second best thing is like an olive oil or something, and the best thing for you is meat tallow and ghee, like Nick said. That's the absolute best for you because that's what your body craves.
What is a canola? What's a canola?
Canola is a grain.
You know, I looked it up in Google, which is evil. I should not be using Google. You called it rapeseed. Rape. Also known as rape.
Rape?
Yeah, R-A-P-E, rape. Oilseed rape.
Ay, Dios mío.
Oilseed rape is a bright yellow flowering member of the family. Why don't they just call it rapeseed oil?
Probably. I don't know. Probably something to do with our languages, I bet you.
So is that the caveman? Was that called the caveman paleo diet that you were doing? Or keto or something like that? What was it technically called?
So,
or did it have a name?
When I lost in my year when I was younger, I lost actually 100 pounds in 17 months, and the way I did that was with the help of a keto diet. I didn't do a keto diet the entire time, but when I hit a plateau and I couldn't lose any more weight, and I was just feeling like bummed out and couldn't progress anymore, I started keto.
Nice.
And that's what helped me break my plateau and continue going.
Okay.
But I
So you would
I don't recommend keto for a long time.
Okay,
It's only
just
for
a
to
short-
reset your system.
a short-term solution. Keto is where you fast for long hours during the day, right? Before you eat?
Yeah,
Something like
that does help. Intermittent fasting. So like you don't eat for 16 hours, and then you eat within an 8-hour window.
Uh-huh.
That'll definitely get your body going. They found that studies with rats, if they do an 8 to 16-hour window type feeding period, the rats ended up living 30% longer.
Wow.
So what they found is just like rats with humans, that if we keep ourselves starved, our body changes and goes, oh my God, we're starving. Like, we need to figure out what to do, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we are normally. What we're doing today is unhealthy.
Yeah.
When we're eating when we want to and when we
Right.
have hunger.
Mhm.
But when we do have hunger, our body changes and gives us benefits when we are hungry.
Nice. Interesting, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah, I've
Absolutely.
heard that you're
So-
supposed to
so-
systematically undereat, somebody said before.
Absolutely. That'll keep you healthy. That'll keep you cancer-free and disease-free and everything. Just starve yourself a little bit, and
Just
then
a little
eat
bit.
lots of meats, lots of fish. And another thing I've noticed is cultures that eat a lot of fish, lots of coastal cultures, they end up a lot healthier and a lot more beautiful if you
Nice.
take into account the Vikings, the Japanese compared to the mainland Chinese,
point.
and
Wow.
yada, so on and so forth. It seems like the coastal cultures end up being a lot more beautiful than mainland cultures.
Thank you, man. Appreciate the input. Very interesting, Chad. Call me again sometime.
All right. Sounds good. I'll talk to you soon. Take care, brother.
All right, adios. Nick says, and Sean tells us the pronunciation, Hippocrates. Hippocrates. I don't know. Hippocrates said fasting was for the ill and insane, unless it was for spiritual reasons. Interesting. Well, guys, this has been the Hake Report. Hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I had too much fun on shallow stuff, but everything is shallow. It's all meaningless. Vanity. Guys, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. And it's time for the, oh my gosh, I'm late. It's time for Joel Friday. Do we still have time for the song? Here is Walk in Two Worlds. I love this song. I grew up singing this song in my head. I was a nutty little kid, I guess. By Phil Keaggy. Adios, America.
When you walk into worlds, hold your head up high. When you walk into worlds, keep your sights to the sky. Remember you're in this place, but of another race. You move to a different